2005 YZ250. Just did the 2015 Wild Horse Enduro at Coolant, Nevada. Chunked on a rock, went into my radiator hose, caused a leak. So it's going to be a tutorial about how to change a lower radiator hose on a YZ250 2005. First thing you want to do is get the pipe out of the way. You can use vice grips, they're handy, they're always laying around. Or if you have one of these, they work too. Just hook that spring right there, pull it right off. Boom. That's with that tool. That's with that tool. Anything will work. Just pull that off. We want to get this pipe off first so we can get into this hose right here. Always have your tools ready. Snap-on cordless screw, hose, 1/4 inch ratchet, 1/4 inch sockets, exhaust spring puller, vice grips. Pretty much what we're going to need for this job right now. And the almighty blue Loctite. Alright, we got the pipe off. Plenty of room to get to this hose here. It's out in the middle of the desert. This is actually the bottom of the hose. It's down here. Have a little split in there. I took this clamp off, cut off about this much from here down for that hose. And it actually worked out better flipping it upside down. Clamped it back off. Had water in my Camelback. Filled it up. Sweepers had a bottle of water. Had just enough water to put in here. Get back to camp. Ended up hourring out. And made it back on my own power though. Now if you want to drain the coolant out of this screw right here is a drain plug. It's kind of a pain in the butt because this thing's in the way, and since we got to change this hose, it's a lot easier just to take the hose off and just have it just fall down in there. There's nothing but water in there, no big deal. Save you a lot of time having to take this off. Instead of just yanking this hose off, you can just push it to the side and just get it to leak out a little bit. As you can see right there, it's going right into the bucket. If you're afraid you're going to mess up your good garage floor or whatever, just take your time. You don't have to yank it off. It's not a big deal. Me, I'm not worried about my garage floor, so I'll just pull it right off and let it just go on down in there. Quick heads up, when you're putting any hoses on or rubber hoses, this is tire soap. They put tires together with, put them on the bead. Just put a little bit in there. It's not going to hurt it. It'll slide on so much easier if you can get a hold of this tire soap. I suggest getting a little handful of it, putting it in a little container or baggie or something. Anytime you're putting on rubber hoses, so much easier. Put a little tire soap in there. Don't use any petroleum-based products because that eats away the rubber. You have to have a treated piece of rubber in order to hold up to petroleum-based products. Alright, when you want to put this hose on, put the top on first. It's a lot easier to get this bottom piece on. You just pop it right in just like that. You can see a little tiny notch right there. See that? That little notch is obviously where this hose is going to stop. Just like that. Looking good already. When you put your clamps on, make sure you can get to them. You see how this is right here? See that small little area right there? If this was on this side, obviously you'd be having problems. So make sure you think about that before you put these clamps on. I'm going to be able to get to that no problem in the middle of the desert. You can possibly be on that side too, but this is a little bit more open over here. See all that room? Make sure you don't over tighten these clamps. You don't want to pinch the hose. Snug them up good enough. Put your radiator cap, tighten it down, warm it up, and always check for leaks after you work on your cooling system. Important. Let's talk about coolants. Antifreeze, ethyl glycol. That's all it is. They got special coolants, all this, whatever. This says 50-50. You always want to run half water, half coolant. They just started coming out with this. Normally this would be full of concentrated antifreeze, and you don't want to put that in your coolant system without mixing it half and half with water. If you put straight antifreeze in there, your bike will overheat every time. You'll be like, why is it overheating? That's because you put concentrated coolant in there. You got to have the water to activate it and thin it out. Now when you're filling these up, it's going to take a second to get all the air out of it. See the little bubble right there? See it going down a little bit? So make sure you check it. You want to fill it up, wait. You'll see it go down. There's going to be some air in there. So definitely, after you top this off, you want to fire it up, run it, check it again, because it's going to get the bubbles out, level's going to go down. You want to keep that topped off. That's important. Alright, you want to double check for leaks. Once you get the coolant in there, just on static, once you run it with the cap on there, it's going to build pressure. It's going to create leaks a lot easier and a lot quicker. You definitely want to make sure you got all your clearances. See the clearances right there on the hose? Not touching anything. That's important. Just my pipe going into that hose caused a little tiny split right here. That's all it took. It was under pressure and it just spewed all out right there. My day was done. Now all I need to do is put a pipe back on it, but this thing's toast. This thing's all bent up. Man, destroyed that one. So let's see here. Oh hey, what's that up there? Looks like a spare one that just might do. A couple of them, look at that. Oh, that looks like a good one there. I think we'll run with that one. Quick heads up on these pipes. See those grooves in there? One O-ring's missing. There's only one O-ring in there. You want to check those O-rings, change them out. And these are the kits right here. Boom. Got quite a few of these kits. Springs still seem good, so I'm just going to run the O-rings out of here. And that'll do her. Best thing to get an O-ring out is a pick. And this is what it looks like. Just like that. Get in up underneath there and just yank it on out. Simple as that. Boom. That quick. So obviously anytime you're putting parts on, they never line up what you had on there. That's pretty much way off. So we're just going to loosen this up. We're going to line that up. We can get all that on there loose. Make sure we got our bolt in here loose. Make sure everything's lined up. Already got the springs on the front. It's already tied in. And then once we got all that on there loose, and make sure everything's secure, get the boot on. We'll have this on loose. We're going to loosen up this bolt. Alright, we got this loosened up. And look at that. These go in and out. It's slotted right here. So you got some play in there. That puppy line right up. Big heads up on this. Whenever you get a chance, if you can put a nut behind that bolt, you're golden. These bikes vibrate and go through hell. So if you can back it up with a nut, that'd be great. We're going to put this bolt through there, and we're going to put a nut on the back. You can see I had some high temp red Loctite on there before. I'm out of that, but we're still going to run the almighty blue with a backup nut. Got to do it. We'll just put some blue here since we don't have any high temp red. Blue works, it'll be fine. Okay, once you get this exhaust on, make sure these bolts are loose. They're loose, trust me. All the way up over here. Got these bolts. I loosened up this one, so this one would line up. Like I said, anytime you put a new part on, old part, used part, 9 out of 10 times they're not going to bolt on the same way, so you got to loosen up all this stuff. You want to start at one end, okay? So we're going to keep this we're going to tighten up this one, tighten up this one, we're going to tighten up this one, and then we're going to tighten up this one. See how that works? All in a line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quick heads up, I loosened up this nut right here, but I pulled it out completely and put Loctite on it as well. So anytime you crack a bolt, take it off, put Loctite back on it. Sometimes you get lucky, there's a little bit left on there and it still feels taut, but peace of mind, you know you put Loctite on it.
Now once together, test ride, death ride.
Alright, when you're done, double check the coolant. That's important. A little bit low, gotta top it off. And then you'll be done. You subscribe, bros, because as of now, here's my subscribers.